Good morning, welcome to Newswatch today. I'm Emma Armstrong.
And I'm Sadie Chisholm, filling in for Morgan Pagel. Today, we'll be giving you latest updates on the election.
And how businesses are getting creative with handling the pandemic.
I have your latest in the sports news.
And Braden Nelson is here with your forecast. This is Newswatch today. Joining us this morning. Right now we have Braden giving us a first look at the weather.
Thanks, Emma. Currently we have some fall temperatures going on this week, but let's look at what the temperature is. So currently it's about 61 degrees and quite sunny outside. We have about 12-mile-per-hour winds, so you'll feel that sun on you and you'll feel a little bit of wind. Overall, I don't think it feels too bad outside. I think if you have a nice, decent jacket, then it feels pretty great. It just feels like a nice day to be outside if you like the wind. Later on, it'll warm up to about 74 degrees, and that wind will kind of calm down. It'll be about half of what it was, and it'll be more sunny outside. So if you're planning on going outside, you might just want to wait until a little bit later when it warms up. And then later on tonight, it'll be clear, and it'll be in kind of like your lower 50s. It'll be about 51 degrees. So overall, I think we're jumping into those fall temperatures.
Hour by hour, the election has brought tension. Though Joe Biden is at 253 electoral votes and Donald Trump at 214, there really is no telling where the final results will be with the swing states swinging. There are still 5 states that are too close to call. America's on the edge of its seat to see who will be the White House's new resident and America's potential president. The Activities Board and Senate had to face challenges this year in order to have county fair. Here's Owen Goosewell with the report.
County Fair, an evangel tradition that is not only tasked with planning around COVID regulations, but the weather as well.
On October 23rd, Activities Board and Senate helped put together one of the biggest events on campus this semester. Although the weather did not make things easy, as there was a last-minute location change from the Quad to the Maybe because of the cold weather. The shift in plans wasn't a challenge for AB, as they had already faced a move to the Maybe for another event that was at the beginning of the year. Current member Alexa Reed discussed the necessity of making sure County Fair still happened.
I think the importance of County Fair to the campus is just, not only is it something fun to do, but it just preps you for homecoming week and it gets everyone excited. It's another reason to get out of your room and just have a genuine good time with your friends.
The weather wasn't the only challenge, as AB and Senate were already planning around COVID regulations by enforcing mask wearing, practicing social distancing, and sanitizing equipment regularly. County Fair is one of the biggest events to take place at Evangel this fall, and student Ben Paris was happy that everything worked out.
It's the first time where I've seen everybody really be together for the first time in a while. Of course, we're all social distancing, but yeah, it's been the first time, so it feels like we're kind of coming together. And it's fall outside and it looks nice, so that's what I'd say about that.
Even with various obstacles in the way, nothing will stop County Fair this year. For Newswatch, this is Owen Goosewell.
Thanks, Owen. Unsurprisingly, the need for cleaning products has reached an all-time high. The Clorox company is thriving with the wave of coronavirus at hand. Its first quarter sales has grown 27% since last year. Its stock is more than 35% this year. Springfield Public Schools inducted 2 new members into their Hall of Fame. The 2020 inductees are 1965 graduate Earl Coleman and 1972 graduate Steve Grant. Coleman is a world-renowned musician, vocalist, and teacher. After graduating from SPS, he earned a bachelor's degree and 2 master's degrees in voice and violin performance and education from the University of Missouri School of Music. Steve Grant earned a scholarship to Evangel University and an internship at KY3. He was a full-time employee of KY3's newsroom by the time he graduated. Grant now is KY3's well-known anchor and has gone on to win Emmy Awards, the Silver Circle Award, and has served as a president of NATA's Mid-America chapter of the Emmy Awards.
Coming up next, how Midwestern businesses have been affected by COVID.
And I interviewed music major Isaiah Woods. All that and more next.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees?
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Leadership in many Midwestern states find that the pandemic has not affected much of their businesses, due to the fact that many of these major businesses don't require social distancing, such as agriculture, manufacturing, finance, and technology. The leadership of these states have been able to lighten up on some of the initial social distancing protocols put in place some months ago. In April, when shutdowns were most prominent, states like Nebraska only had a peak of 8.7% for the unemployment rate, as opposed to the national rate of 14.7%. The states critically affected by the pandemic have been tourist-based for their businesses, such as California, Hawaii, and Nevada. Germany is putting a light shutdown in action, and for good reason. On Saturday, October 31st, Germany recorded its highest daily total so far, with over 19,000 cases. The total since the beginning of the pandemic has leapt to just over 540,000 and is still growing. Germany has restricted groups of 10 people max. The hope is to decrease cases before the holiday season for people to spend time with family. Some other restrictions put in place include shutting down unessential buildings such as museums, exhibitions, swimming pools, cinemas, and gyms. Now Sadie interviews one of the music majors from the music department. Take it away, Sadie.
Thanks, Emma. 2 weeks ago, Dr. Joel Griffin on the Evangel Music Department died of his injuries following a tragic car accident. One of his students, Isaiah Woods, is here with us today. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Isaiah.
Thanks for having me. It's really an honor to be here in honor of Dr. Griffin.
So, since you were one of Dr. Griffin's students, what kind of relationship did you have with him?
So I actually only had Dr. Griffin for a couple months. This was my first semester with him. And the relationship we had was kind of, a lot of the music department has more of a casual relationship and more of a personal relationship with their students, and that was kind of what I had with Dr. Griffin. He taught Theory 3 and Theory 4, but Theory 3 was the class I was in of his this semester. And I was almost intimidated by him because I've heard a lot of stories of like, oh, he's really difficult and he has like no grace at all. But that really wasn't true. He was really like fantastic, and you could tell he had a passion to teach.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so what was your reaction when you heard of his passing?
The news of the accident hit me really hard because of his family, I think was a lot of it. And most of the music students had actually seen him earlier that day before he left. So it was crazy to think that just a few hours before the accident, we all had seen him there in the music department. But his family meant a lot to him. You could tell he talked about his kids in class all the time. And so that was probably the hardest part to think about.
Yeah, for sure. You just never know what can happen in a day's time. It's crazy. It really is. So can you tell us a little bit about the first time that you met Dr. Griffin?
So the first time I met Dr. Griffin was the first Friday of classes. We had theory, and it wasn't really that big of a thing. It was just another theory class. But I immediately got quarantined like the following Sunday. So I didn't have another class in person with him for 2 weeks. I just Zoomed. But while I was in quarantine, I got an email from him and he was like, hey, are you free anytime today? Like, I'd like to chat with you and get to know you a little bit, and I've got a question for you. And so I called him and he was like, hey, we need a bari sax player for jazz band. Do you want to join? And I was like, well, I've never played jazz before, like ever. And I've never played bari sax. And he said, that's okay, you're here to learn. And like, that's what I want to do, is teach you. And that was the first impression that really had the most of an impression on me, was the fact that he was willing to teach me, even though I had never done it before.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel like you grew a lot from your time that you were with him?
Yeah, he was great at pushing in constructive ways. With tests and quizzes that we had, he would encourage us to do better. He was always like, you can still improve your grade. You're not in the dead zone yet. This may be one bad grade, but you can come back from it. And he always gave us opportunities to. And learning in jazz has been a lot of fun as well.
Wow, he sounds like a really great teacher. So do you have a favorite memory with him?
For a favorite memory, it would probably either be that Zoom call, just because of how much of an impact it made on me, knowing his character, or him just saying some really funny things in class. One of my favorite things he would do was when he was describing different functions of chords, he had this little dance for the different functions, and everybody in theory just started laughing so hard, and he knew that it was funny. And so it was a great time just being in class every day. He would say something. He always said, it isn't rocket surgery, and things like that. That was always funny.
Well, we're out of time, and thank you so much for joining us, Isaiah.
Thank you for having
Dr.
me.
Griffin will truly be missed. And yesterday, the service weather was awesome for his funeral. So, Braden, what's it going to look like up next?
Yeah, Sadie, it looks like we definitely have a good week for weather. Coming up, at least at the moment, we have 61 degrees, and it's quite sunny outside. We have 12-mile-per-hour winds, which it's not too windy, but it's windy enough. Later on, that temperature will increase. Those winds will decrease to about 6 miles per hour and 74 degrees. So it'll be quite a nice day today. And then later on in the night, it'll go down to about 51 degrees, and it'll be a little bit chilly. But overall, I think it's pretty suiting for fall temperatures. Now, coming up next, how a train driver in the Netherlands had a lucky escape, along with our full weather forecast after this.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
A train driver in the Netherlands has had a lucky escape thanks to fortuitously placed art installation. A metro train, Spain-Giganese, near the city of Rotterdam, crashed through a barrier at the end of the track shortly before midnight on Sunday. But rather than plummeting 32 feet into the water below, the train was left suspended dramatically in the air. It ended up being delicately placed on the large sculpture of a whale's tail at the D Acres metro station. The driver, who has not been named, was able to leave the empty train by himself. He was taken to a hospital for a checkup and is not believed to have suffered any injuries. A Springfield diner is using foggers to keep outdoor igloos clean during the pandemic. Businesses are getting creative with different ways to keep customers warm while dining outside this winter. One of the latest trends can be found at the Vantage Rooftop Lounge and Conservatory igloos. Jennifer Peterson says they're really trying to make it a positive thing and take some extra precautions of cleaning. Speaking of igloos, are we going to be able to make any anytime soon, Braden?
It definitely doesn't at the moment. Currently, we're getting more fall temperatures, which is pretty appropriate. But we'll see whenever those colder temperatures come on in. Let's see what's going on right now, though. So currently, it's about 61 degrees here in Springfield, and it's quite sunny outside. We have a little bit of wind. We have 12-mile-per-hour winds, but that's not too unusual for what we've been getting at least this past month, I want to say. So either way, it's quite sunny. You'll feel that sun on your face. You'll feel a little bit of wind coming towards you. So overall, I think it's nice with a decent jacket. And then later on in the day, it'll rise up to about 74 degrees, and that wind will kind of calm down. As you can see, it'll be 6 miles per hour, opposed to 12 miles per hour. So it's overall gonna look like a nice day for weather. Later on in the day, it'll cool up. It'll cool down rather into about 51 degrees, and it'll be quite clear outside. So we're getting about into the lower 50s today, which isn't too bad. Now let's see what we got going on nationally for our weather. As you can see coming up on our radar, that we're not really getting too much rain at the moment. So as you can see, there might be just kind of like scatters of blue. There might be just like a little bit there, but overall there's not too much coming. We're projected to have a little bit of rain on Tuesday, but nothing too serious. We had a lot of rain about 2 weeks ago, but it looks like we're not getting any serious rain anytime very, very soon. Now, as far as our winds go, we're kind of split on it. As you can see, we're getting like 6-mile-per-hour winds today, but we've been getting like 12 up to gusts of like 21. But overall, I think it's a little bit calming down. We have nothing completely like coming towards us, if that makes sense. And then last week we were in the blue. Today we're in the yellow. So we were in the blue, which means we had colder temperatures. We're now in the yellow, where we have more warmer temperatures. I think it's appropriate that we're more like yellow orangey because it looks like fall colors, and I think that's appropriate for fall if you ask me. Now let's look at our 7-day forecast just to see what's coming up. So as you can see, it'll be mostly sunny. We have a couple clouds Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but overall we kind of have a high of 73 and a low of 39. So we're not getting into those freezing temperatures, but I think we're getting into appropriate temperatures for fall. Again, we have some projected rain on Tuesday after 1 a.m. So nothing too crazy, but I think just something to watch out for. Maybe when you're driving in the morning, the roads might be just a little bit wet, maybe a little bit slick, but otherwise nothing should be affected that way. So overall, this upcoming week, we got a sunny week for weather, and that's what's going on.
Up next, I'll be giving you the latest on sports news. I'll update you on Evangel men's soccer and how some got into Arrowhead Stadium for free this week. You won't want to miss it.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Gear up, guys.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it.
You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Hey, Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Evangel University was recently awarded the Better Business Bureau Torch Award for its work with Convoy of Hope through the Center for Compassion.
So the Better Business Bureau hands out a Torch Award to local organizations that serve with excellence, especially regarding their ethical principles and their ethical practices. So I believe that part of the reason they recognized Evangel University for the Torch Award this year was because of our partnership between Convoy of Hope and Evangel Center for Compassion. And I think what that means for Evangel is it really is a recognition of the excellence that we try to bring to the table in all of our efforts, both with on campus and off campus, both to our Evangel community and to the Springfield community.
Students served over 82,000 hours to the Springfield community in 2019, and the Center for Compassion hopes to keep up this presence in the community. Now we take a closer look at what sports news we have this week. What do we have, Sadie?
Well, I'm going to tell you all about it, Emma. The Evangel men's soccer team continues to practice as they enter their waning season. The Crusaders traveled to the Plaster Athletic Complex to challenge the Mount Mercy Mustangs. The Mustangs scored just 3 minutes into the game with an additional point around the 32-minute mark. The Crusaders fought back, tying the score 2-2. The Mustangs answered the Crusaders' rally and took control of the game. Mustangs secured the win and sent the Crusaders home with a 9-3 loss. The Crusaders will wrap up their season with 2 road games, one at Park on November 12th and the other in Culver Stockton on November 16th. In the NFL, San Francisco 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is searching for answers. He recently re-injured his right ankle in a loss to the Seattle Seahawks. His injury is considered more serious than before because it's higher on the ankle and it's the second time hurting it this season. The quarterback is in the process of getting multiple medical opinions before making any decisions to have surgery. If surgery is conducted, he will sit the remainder of the 2020 season. If not, he will recover for 6 weeks just in time to wrap up the season. Known as the greatest Argentina football star, Diego Maradona is recovering well from his brain surgery for a subdural hematoma. He was admitted to the hospital for anemia, dehydration, and depression and underwent surgery the next day. Maradona's neurosurgeon and personal physician said that he did well with the procedure and his recovery has gone great up to this point. This week, Kansas City Chiefs voters are getting free admission into Arrowhead Stadium. Well, not quite. Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes donated money from his 15 and the Mahomes Foundation to cover the cost to use Arrowhead Stadium as a polling place for 2020's election. Mahomes says that it's important to get lots of people involved at an exciting location like Arrowhead because people can show love and unity while expressing their voting privileges. That's all I have for you today. Back to you, Emma.
When we come back, amazing news about Nixa Junior High School. Stay tuned.
The best place to find adventure
Come on, this way.
is in the forest.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
It's beautiful.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Behold, the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework. I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
1 in 5 children struggle with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to understood.org.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Evangel has been the beneficiary of several donations in the past, but this most recent one has benefited both students and professors in a major way.
The Evangel University Music Department now has instruments that rival some of the best in the world. This is due to the fact that generous donations of 2 Steinway pianos were made to the university recently. Senior music major Tyler Helton spoke with us and explained the high quality of these products.
Steinways are really top-of-the-line pianos. I mean, in the world of pianos, you've got Yamahas, Kawais, even all the way down to something little like a Casio. But Steinways, that's really like the Rolls-Royce of pianos.
These pianos now give students the opportunity to practice and perform on instruments that closely resemble the power and response of a 9-foot concert grand piano. Junior music major Amika Bonitz spoke about how much the donation of these pianos meant to her.
It definitely is a great deal to have such great instruments because it gives us the opportunity to play on such wonderful instruments.
The Steinways were donated by Dr. Samuel E. Coryell, and they have already been put to good use by students.
While this particular piano isn't a Steinway piano, it's still amazing that such high-quality instruments are now available to be used by students here on campus. Reporting for EUTV, I'm Dee Little.
News Leader announced that Blake Richter was in the middle of carrying a donated drum set into his Nixa Junior High classroom when the email arrived. Richter was a semi-finalist, one of just 25 in the nation, for the Music Educator Award presented each year by the Recording Academy and Grammy Museum. The award recognizes teachers who are making a significant and lasting impact in the field of music education and who are committed to the cause of maintaining the music education in the school. So, Braden, how about those fall temperatures? Or can we even call them fall temperatures?
I'd say so, at least this week. So currently, as you can see during our forecast, we're kind of staying mostly in the 70s, at least for the beginning of the week. There's not too much variation. But overall, it looks like it's going to be quite sunny with a couple of clouds. We have a chance of rain on Tuesday past 1 a.m. But overall, we have a high of 74 and a low of 39. I'd say we're fitting those fall temperatures pretty well. And then at the end of the week, it looks like it's dipping a little bit colder. But overall, I think it's going to be a pretty good week for weather, Sadie.
Well, Braden, I know I'm certainly enjoying this 70-degree weather. How about you, Emma?
Oh, I'm loving it. I hope it stays for a little bit. That's all the time we have for this week. I'm Emma Armstrong.
And I'm Sadie Chisholm, filling in for Morgan Pagel. This has been Newswatch Today. Join us again next week.